This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm David Byrd. The U.S. Congress has passed spending legislation and averted an imminent government shutdown. We get more from AP's Jennifer King.
Exciting to keep government open.
With hours to spare, Congress sent legislation to avoid a partial federal shutdown to President Biden. The legislation did not raise the debt limit, but keeps the government funded through December 3rd. It includes over $28 billion in relief for those recovering from Hurricane Ida and other natural disasters, and over $6 billion to support the resettlement of Afghanistan evacuees. The House approved the short-term funding measure with a bipartisan 254 to 175 vote, although a majority of Republicans in both chambers voted against it. Jennifer King, Washington.
The United States has condemned Ethiopia's decision to kick out 7 United Nations officials whom it accused of meddling in the country's internal affairs. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said depriving your own citizens of the basic means of survival is unacceptable and warned that Washington could impose financial sanctions on those who obstruct humanitarian assistance to the people of Ethiopia. The people expelled include 5 with the UN Humanitarian Agency, 1 from the UN Human Rights Office, and the 1 UNICEF representative in the country. Ethiopia's government has accused humanitarian workers of supporting the Tigrayan forces who have been fighting its soldiers and allied forces since November. Aid workers have denied it. On Wall Street, stocks ended the month of September on a sour note, with the Dow Jones Industrials dropping 1.59%, the S&P fell by 1.19%, and the Nasdaq lost 0.44%. For more on these stories and the rest of the day's news, visit our website. This is VOA News. Greece will impose a nighttime curfew and ban music at bars, cafes, and restaurants in Thessaloniki, its second biggest city, following an increase in COVID-19 cases. The government's Civil Protection Ministry said Thessaloniki City and its wider region and the neighboring region of Halkidiki, along with the central city of Larissa, will be moved into Tier 4 restrictions for a week on October 1st. Infections have stabilized across the country, but cases have surged in northern Greece. With a population of 11 million people, the country so far has administered more than 12 million first vaccination shots. About 58% of Greeks are fully vaccinated. A survey of Americans on President Joe Biden's plan to require most workers to either be vaccinated or regularly tested for COVID-19 finds a familiar divide. Democrats approve it, while Republicans are against it. AP's Mike Hempen reports.
The survey on the president's plan to require most workers to get either vaccinated or regularly tested for COVID-19 shows a strong political divide. About 3/4 of Democrats, but only 1/4 of Republicans approve. Overall, 51% say they agree with the requirement, while 34% oppose it. The details of how the mandate will work are still being worked out by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. I'm Mike Hempen.
Lawyers for former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, who was convicted Thursday and sentenced to a year of house arrest for illegal campaign financing charges, say he will appeal the ruling. The court said Sarkozy would be allowed to serve the 1-year sentence at home by wearing an electronic monitoring bracelet. His lawyer, Thierry Herzog, noted the sentence corresponds to the maximum that his client faced. He said he had spoken with Sarkozy, who had asked him to appeal. Sarkozy, the French president from 2007 to 2012, had vigorously denied wrongdoing during the trial in May and June. He was accused of having spent almost twice the maximum legal amount of 22.5 million euros on the re-election bid that he lost to socialist François Hollande. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose for the 3rd straight week last week. The Labor Department said the claims rose unexpectedly by 11,000 last week to 362,000. Since topping 90,000 in early January, applications had fallen fairly steadily as the economy bounced back from last year's shutdowns. Reporting by remote, I'm David Byrd, VOA News.